Hey guys, like I said in the intro, sections 1 through 7 will be learning sections, but I didn't want to just do boring individual tutorials. I wanted to take what we learn and build an app with progressive features from each lecture. So that's why I called it a sandbox app, because it doesn't have any one focus or single purpose. It's basically a mashup of a bunch of different components that feature different concepts that you'll learn along the way. But this is the end result, so I just want to give you kind of a tour of it. And after section 7, we'll actually build 2 focus projects that will have a single purpose. So don't worry about that. But this is more of a reference app where if you want to go back and look at something like property binding, you can go back and look at that code. Or if you want to look at how a service is injected into a component or how to use the HTTP module, this application includes all of that. Alright, so basically this is the home component, and it just links us to the 2 other major components that we're going to work on. So the first will be the users component. So if we click here, you'll see we have a list of users, and this is actually hard-coded data, and we have it so that we can expand users and we can see the email and the join date. Basically, we're going to be working with state and how we can manipulate the state. For instance, the form, if we want to toggle the form, we're going to look at things like ngIf, ng4 to loop through the users, and we're going to look at template-driven forms and validation. You'll see the button. I can't click it because the form isn't validated. If I were to just click inside here and go out, we'll get an error here. If I just put in 1 character, you'll see it must be at least 2 characters, so we'll be working with form validation. Let's just go ahead and put a name in there, so that's okay. Let's put another one. We also have email validation, so if I just put in like Chris and click outside, we'll see email is not valid, and we'll just change this to chris@test.com, and then once it's valid, you'll see the button is okay. We can click it and it gets added down here. Chris gets added. Okay, so this is basically the users component that we'll create, and there's a lot of different things that go into this one component. So after that, we're going to work on a post component, and this is where we really look at services, HTTP. So all of these posts you see, these are coming in from the JSON placeholder API, which is like a fake REST API, and we can make requests. Obviously, we make a GET request to read them, but we can go ahead and we can add, let's say, test post. We'll say test body, and then this will reach out to the API, and it'll actually make a post request, and it'll also get added down here. Alright, now if we wanted to edit a post, we could click on the edit icon. You'll see the state of the form changes and it adds in the data. I could go ahead and just say, let me just click in here, and we could just say updated title. You'll see the actual post will update as well as I type. For the body, we'll just say test, and then we'll go ahead and click update post, and it'll update it and it'll change the form state back. Okay, we can also delete posts. If I click delete, okay, and it'll make a delete request to the API, come back and remove it from the list. All right, and we also have it so that if we click on an individual post, it'll take us to, we're using the router, and it'll take us to that single post with the ID, and we can go back. All right, now these aren't going to stick because we're working with an external API that doesn't allow you to actually update data in the database, so it's all within the UI. Okay, but when we get to our next project, which is the devlogger project, we'll be using local storage to persist data, and then the final project will actually use Firebase, which is a fantastic cloud database, and we'll be using authentication, and we'll create a settings area, so it'll be more like a real-life application. All right, so I just wanted to introduce you to what we'll be building in the next 7 sections or so. In the next video, we're going to start to create our environment. We're going to start to learn about the CLI. We'll talk about TypeScript, and we'll go from there.